Quite a few people have got bunches of old photos at home, or even stacks of negatives which you haven't looked at for a long time. So what is a good way to go about that if they're just sitting in the cupboard or the attic and haven't been looked at for years, and you want to look at them in a better, higher quality way? Well, this is where something like this comes into play. It's a scanner, and you can scan your photos and negatives into it without the need of a computer. Store them to SD card and then view them on your TV or whatever you like. And that is a better way to go, because photos now are like pretty small as well. I'm gonna try this one. It's me with a fish when I was younger, and me when I was even younger on the Queen's, I think it was Silver Jubilee. But we'll scan these and see how they turn out. And also gonna try a negative as well and see how well it does with those, because I know what some of you are thinking. Some of you are thinking, okay, so this scans my photos, right? But what is the difference between getting a photo and scanning it in this, and say getting my phone and just carefully lining it up and taking a picture of it with my phone? Surely that is the same kind of thing, but that is what is interesting about this device. So I want to compare that. I want to see how good a scanned photo is in this, how easy it is to use versus taking a picture of a photo with my phone. In theory, the same thing, but if the quality is much better from this, then that is what it's all about. And not forgetting, we can also view negatives as well, which obviously your phone cannot do. So without further ado, let's crack this thing open and see what's in the box. Right, let us see. We've got a top layer. First of all, we've got our negatives and slide holders. You need these when you're going to view negatives or slides. And there's different types. One, instruction manual. We have a quick start guide. We have this is a cleaning brush. That's quite cool. That's a nice little inclusion. Didn't expect that. That's very nice. We also have a cleaning cloth. No need to unpack that. So they're giving you all the stuff you need here to not only scan your photos, but also maintain the device at the same time. Got our power lead for the AC adapter. Oh, this is cool. You've got these little sizer things for photos. This should make them really easy to line up when you're going to scan some photos. Yeah. 4 different ones for a different size photos. So the smaller one for the bigger photos, and so on. 3x5, that'd be a common one for older photos, and 4x6 for the slightly bigger ones, and also one for a name card. So we'll show how to use all these, and we get a little CD-ROM as well, which I'm not going to use for this video. So I'm just going to show how the device works without the need of a computer, because that is one of the coolest things about it to me. Right, let's take off that layer. Well packed, a really nice sturdy layer of protective polystyrene there. And here is our device. It's all bagged up. Let's take it out. Right, so pretty lightweight, fairly compact. This doesn't look like it's any bigger than what it needs to be, which is always good. So let's try a few things out. Right, so just taking off all those little stickers holding down lids and things like that. But first thing you do is on the photo glass thing, the plastic thing which is on top where you place your photos, make sure you remove the protective film that's on top. Make sure you take that off. Get that lovely super clear scanning part which we place our photos on. Right, so all plugged in and turned on and ready to go. Let's take a look at a negative first, see the quality on that, and then we'll scan some photos and compare the scanned photos to just how it compares to taking some with your phone, which I know some people do that. But to load a negative, very simple. Just open up the negative holder, place in your negative strip, making sure it lines up correctly. You can lock it down on the little tabs on the negative holder as well. Close that down, and we are good to go. Right, so with our negatives loaded, we just need to make sure that the slider on top is set to film, and then we can select our film type. Just press the enter button there. We're on 135 negative. You can just select left and right to select different ones, but 135 negatives is what we want. So we're going to select that, and we're going to slide in our negative slider from this side, and there it is. And there it is, it's come up straight away. It's really cool. When I slide it along to the next one, it's like a viewer thing. It's like this is pretty cool. Right, now let's test the photo scanning capability of this. Let's turn it back on again. But before I do that, I'm going to change film to photo. Yeah, it's very important you do that. When you do that, you'll hear mechanical adjustment inside the scanner to confirm it in photo mode. And I'm going to scan two different sorts of photos. I'm going to scan a slightly bigger one, which is quite dark and not that detailed, and it's a pretty bad photo. That's me when I caught a fish when I was younger. And me when I was even younger, I think at the Queen's Silver Jubilee in a big hat. But it's a much brighter photo with different colours. We'll test that as well. So over into photo mode. Let's turn it back on again. Wait for it to boot up. Now this is a 4x6 photo, so I'm going to use the 4x6 spacer. Makes sense. Now to load this in is very straightforward. This has got little tabs on it at the back. Not sure if you can see that on the camera there, but this literally locks into place on the scanner itself, and you take your photo and you load it picture side down, and you just make sure it just fits snugly up to the fittings of the spacer, and we'll close that down carefully and then select our effect. Most people are going to want multicolour for this, because basically you can choose between black and white and multicolour. I want multicolour, but we can also select between resolution as well. If we press the menu button, again we can go across to resolution and pick between 14 million and 22 million. I'll select 22 million because bigger is better, isn't it? And the last thing we have to do before we can do this is make sure we've got the crop set to the right settings. So press the enter button and basically select the right one. This is a 6x4 photo. So on the 4 it says there 4x6, and then we can then press enter and the picture should come up, and there it is. And let's press scan. Is that it? That's quick. That took like literally a split second. That was very, very fast indeed. Right, so that was a photo for where we had one of the correct size spacers. But what do you do when you get a photo like this, which doesn't have one of the spacers of the correct size? Well, you can actually just place it down manually, look at the on-screen viewer and line it up, and then close the lid and scan it that way. So we'll do that. Let's close the lid. Press scan, and again it was done really, really quickly. But now, as a matter of interest, I'm going to take a manual picture with my phone of these two same photographs and compare them to the scanned image and see if we're actually getting better results via the scanner. So let's do what a lot of people would do in this kind of situation. They think, oh, I don't need a scanner like this, I can just get my camera on my phone even, line it up over and take a photo. But I can tell you already, this is not going to be as good. And I'll tell you why as well. It's because that glossy photo there, this matte photo here, I don't think is going to be affected as badly. Let's just take a photo of that. But this one here is quite glossy, and I could see reflections already, which I couldn't actually get rid of while taking it with my phone, because to get the correct image without distorting it at all, obviously you have to take it from directly above if you're going to do that. So if you do that, you're going to get reflections of the phone, some surroundings in and things like that. I can already tell this is not going to be as good taking it with a phone. So I'll show the results anyway, but this is where this is good, because you don't have to muck around lining it up with your phone. You don't have to worry about reflections and distorted images. It just works straight away and takes literally a split second. So let's take a look at the results. Right, so let's take a look at that image quality now. Now this is the 35mm negative capture, Now this is really outrageously good picture quality to me. This is a fantastic way to view your old photographs if you've still got negatives lying around. Like, the thing is with some of these things, photos, they're small, and the best way to look at them these days is on your big screen TV, and this is a really nice way to view this kind of image. And if we zoom in, go up to 185%, there's very little pixelation. So the actual resolution this captures from 35mm negatives is absolutely really high quality. We're well impressed by this. This is very nice indeed. Let's take a look at the next picture. This is still from the 35mm negative. I love looking at these old photos, and there's just something about them which is just magic. Looks really good. Right, so well impressed by the 35mm negatives. Now let's take a look at the photo image quality. Well, so this is the photo of me holding a fish. It looks like a carp. I mean, it wasn't the highest quality photo in the first place, which is why I want to use this kind of photo to see how it turned out. But it's a decent representation of what the original photo was, so you can't grumble about that. But let's compare it now to the snapshot I took with my camera phone, because that's what a lot of people think would do. They're going to basically like say, well, why do I need a photo scanner when I can just take a picture of a photo with my phone? You know, what's the difference? Well, I'll show you the difference. If we go to my phone, you get reflections. All these reflections here weren't in the original photo, because that's like unavoidable from the glossiness of the photo, because it was a glossy photo too. And obviously then you've got to spend time obviously just cropping it correctly to the right size, where with this one it's done automatically and done in a couple of seconds to a high quality as well. So for me, it's still a better way to go about it, to scan it. What's interesting though is this is the photo which I put in the scanner and just put it on the scanner and lined it up manually. And again, it's a very accurate representation of what the actual photo was. What's interesting about this is the one I took with my phone kind of color corrected it a bit. It's kind of made my face a more natural tone and things like that, and all the colors are a little bit more subdued, and some might say a little bit more accurate. But if you want an actual perfect representation of what the original photo was, then this one is actually more accurate. You can color correct it yourself afterwards if you so desire, but if you want a accurate representation of the original photo, then this does a really good job of doing that. But you have to say the snapshot with my phone was actually okay on this, but only because it was a matte photo with no obvious reflections, and it's still got distortions. Look at this edge, it's curved, it's curving outwards here, and it's curving outwards here as well, just due to the nature of how phones take pictures. You don't get that at all with the scanned image. It's absolutely perfect dimensions, no distortion whatsoever. So for me, I would still massively prefer this version over the one taken with my phone. Right, so final thoughts on this scanner. Well, overall the quality I thought was pretty good. It was a decent product and I enjoyed using it, but there's certainly one or two things to be wary of, and the first one is the supplied cleaning cloth. I don't think is the best one that could have been supplied. It's not that soft, and when you need to keep this surface here as pristine as possible, you want the softest cloth possible. So something like this, a kind of a very soft cloth you're going to use with a spray of some sort, a cleaning spray, the kind of thing you use for your glasses maybe, or for cleaning a CD, far better than the one supplied. And the other thing I'll be aware of as well is the surface here where you place your photos isn't that tough. I've got a couple of marks on mine already, even though I've been very careful, and basically any marks that show up on that screen may show up on your scanned photo. So certainly something to bear in mind. Be extra careful when using the photo scanner. But otherwise, really good product. I like it. I love the quality of the negatives. They're absolutely fantastic, absolutely superb quality from them. And I've only downgraded this slightly on the marks regarding the photos, because basically any marks that are on this surface here, if it should get marked or scratched or anything like that, will actually show up on your photos, and it isn't that scratch resistant, so do be wary of that. But otherwise, very good product. So there it is, there's the video. If you fancy getting yourself one of these photo scanners, there's a link in the description below. With a discount code, you can get it even cheaper. But if you enjoyed this video, it'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. And most of all, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.